Hello, dear family. Welcome to Echoes and Tales. Kindly hit that subscribe button and give us a like. It truly means the world to us. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and loved ones, and be sure to turn on post notifications so you never miss our upcoming stories. We truly appreciate your support. Now sit back, relax, and let's dive into the tale. Let me tell you a story. Not one of overnight riches or lucky breaks, but a story of dust, failure, rain, and a boy who kept walking. His name was Toluwa Ayinde. Some called him Tolu Tech. Others just called him that brilliant boy. But long before they gave him nicknames, long before he built anything that mattered, he fell. Hard. This is the story of how those stones beneath his feet, the very ones that made him stumble, became the path that carried him forward. Lagos, Ojota, 5:42 a.m. The city hadn't even fully woken up, yet the streets were already alive. Danfo buses coughed their first fumes. Hawkers adjusted crates of gala and la casera. The day had begun its usual battle. But Tolu was jogging through it all, wired earphones in, playlist thumping motivational tracks, and a pitch deck saved on his phone. He was smiling, confident. Today was the day. After 4 years in school, 2 in unpaid internships, and another year building an app without stable Wi-Fi, he was finally about to pitch it. His app, ShopLink. A platform to connect farmers from rural villages to real-time city markets. Simple, disruptive, smart. He checked his reflection in the screen of a Kike parked by the roadside. Tight shirt, clean shave, new shoes bought on loan. No worry, he said aloud to himself. I go blow today. You see, this wasn't just ambition talking. Tolu had always been special. Back in OAU, Obafemi Awolowo University, they called him the guy wasabi code without sleep. He had hacked together final year projects for 4 different departments for free, built a voting app for the SUG elections, won first place at a national hackathon using a second-hand laptop that overheated if you touched the spacebar too hard. But brilliance in Nigeria is not always enough. After school, job offers didn't come. Tech companies said no experience. Startups said no funding. Even Jumia ghosted him after 2 interviews. So with no job and no capital, he did the only thing he could. He borrowed 10,000 nairas from his mother, bought data bundles from it, and built ShopLink on a laptop that ran best only when plugged in and prayed over. Now, let me tell you about Mama Ronki, Tolu's mother, a woman with no formal education, a woman who cleaned the local primary school's toilets during the week and sold puff puff on Saturdays. People said she was small, but her heart, big enough to carry a whole village. When Tolu told her he got selected for the Lagos Youth Tech Competition, she didn't just smile. She took her entire savings, the one she had been keeping in a powdered milk tin under her bed, and gave it to him. 5,000 nairas for transport, 3,000 nairas for printing, 2,000 nairas for just in case. Then she sewed him a shirt with blue cotton, ironed it carefully, and placed her hands on his shoulders. My son, may your feet not stumble where your destiny stands. Tolu swallowed the lump in his throat. Amen, Mama. Promise me something, she said. If you win, don't forget to build me that house, eh? With white tiles and a deep freezer, he smiled. A gas cooker, too, she added. Deal. And that was how he left for Lagos, carrying not just code, but a mother's hope. The event was held in one of those modern co-working spaces in Victoria Island. AC cold like London weather. Snacks with names he couldn't pronounce. Tolu took a deep breath. He had practiced this pitch over 300 times. In front of mirrors. Chickens. Strangers on BRT buses. He was ready. When they called his name, his heart pounded like a talking drum. Good morning, judges. My name is Toluwa Ayinde, and I'm here to solve the disconnect between Nigeria's rural farmers and urban buyers. Slides flowed, voice steady. Investors nodded. Then came the demo. He clicked, paused. Nothing. Clicked again, still nothing. The screen blinked, froze. He restarted the app, still blank. A judge coughed softly. Another looked at her watch. Tolu's voice cracked. Just give me a second, please. He tried again. Please, just a moment. Still nothing. Okay, the lead judge said finally. Thank you, Mr. Ayinde. We'll be in touch. Just like that, it was over. Tolu walked out of the building, carrying his bag like it weighed 10 bricks. The Lagos sun had disappeared. Rain had started falling, just enough to be annoying. He got into the Danfo, sat near the window. Didn't speak. Other passengers argued about fuel price and Chelsea's last match. Tolu? He just stared at the rain. hitting the glass. He replayed everything in his mind. Every judge's face, every mistake. He opened his cracked phone screen, scrolled to Mama's last message. God go with you, my pickin'. He pressed his forehead against the cold window pane. Mama, I failed. And for the first time in a long time. He cried. When he arrived back in Osun State the next evening, he didn't tell anyone. He didn't call friends. Didn't post online. He just walked the dusty road back to their compound and knocked gently. Mama opened the door, surprised. Tolu, you done come back already? He nodded, avoided her eyes. She looked at the bag. No trophy, no prize. Still, she smiled. You day hungry? He said nothing. She went inside, lit the kerosene stove, and brought him food. No lectures, no questions. Just amala and a goosey and presents. Days turned to weeks. Tolu stayed indoors. Didn't touch his laptop. Didn't go to church. Didn't leave the compound. Neighbors whispered, "Shena him way say him go change the world." All that computer talk for Wheaton? He didn't care anymore. All the brilliance. All the sacrifice. And still, failure. In his journal, he wrote just one sentence. Maybe I'm not who I thought I was. And for a while, he believed it. It was a Thursday morning when Mama Ronki knocked. Not her usual gentle knock. No. This one had meaning. Tolu was still in bed. Or rather, lying in silence, staring at the ceiling as the morning heat crawled in. Toluwa. Knock knock. Get up. Dress. You dey follow me go school today. He didn't move. Mama, beg. Not today. Not today. How many not todays you go get before you rot inside this house? I said I'm tired. No, you're not tired. You're scared. You fell. And so what? Even goatway fall they stand again. Then she opened the door, walked over to his mattress on the floor, and sat beside him. I cleaned floor for 20 years. Rain, sun, abuse. You know how many times I fell, Toluwa? But I got up, because your future depended on it. Now it's your turn to get up. Come to school. Help me teach them small. If not computer, at least confidence. Her voice softened. You think your dreams died in Lagos, but maybe, just maybe, they're waiting here. That afternoon, Tolu followed her. Not because he wanted to, but because she was right. He couldn't keep lying in that room forever. The school was smaller than he remembered. 3 classrooms, 1 broken fence, a mango tree standing like a forgotten monument at the edge of the compound. Children ran around barefoot, uniforms mismatched, notebooks folded into fans. Mama introduced him to the headmistress. This one on my Pekin Wasabi computer. First class for school. He'd go help teach small tech. The woman smiled. Tolu offered a nervous nod. No energy left to argue. They showed him the quote, computer lab. It was a room with 2 tables, 1 mouse, and a dusty desktop monitor, missing the CPU. He sighed. Okay, let's start with paper then. The next day, under the mango tree, Tolu held his first class. 10 students sat on benches, legs swinging, eyes wide. He asked, who knows what a computer is? One girl raised her hand. It's that box that they make sound when NEPA bring light. They laughed. So did he. He pulled out a stick and drew a monitor in the sand. This is a screen. This is a keyboard. This, he pointed, is how we will begin. No Wi-Fi, no power, just dust, charcoal, and imagination. That something strange happened. That children listened. They asked questions. They returned the next day, and the next. By the end of the week, he had 20 students. He wrote code on broken cardboard. He gave assignments using pencils. He used one old Nokia phone to demonstrate logic flow. It wasn't much, but it was something. One afternoon, as he was drawing if-else statements with chalk on a wooden door, he heard a voice behind him. You teach JavaScript with firewood? He turned, and there she was. Ifeoluwa, NYSC member, English teacher. Eyes sharp, lips curved in amusement. Only in Nigeria will you find tech boys without tech, she said. Tolu chuckled, wiping his hands. We make do, she nodded. You're brave. I'm broke, he replied. Same difference, she smiled. That was the beginning. Over the next few days, Ifeoluwa stayed to watch his classes. Then she joined in teaching the kids how to write stories, speak with confidence, and present their ideas aloud. One day, after class, as they sat beneath the tree, sipping cold zobo from Mama Ruth's kiosk, She turned to him and asked, "Why are you here, Tolu?" He paused. "I failed. I crashed in Lagos. So I came back." "No," she said. "That's not why you're here. You're here because there's still work to be done. You think you fell, but maybe you were redirected." He looked at her. She didn't flinch. "You're not broken, Tolu. You're just becoming." Not everything was rosy. One week, the only working laptop caught fire, literally. Another week, rain scattered their outdoor class mid-lesson. A boy named Bashiru came every day barefoot, yet never brought a notebook. Tolu scolded him. Bashiru didn't return the next day. Mama Ronki sat him down that night. "You dey teach computer, but you know dey learn people. That boy never chopped full food this week. No notebook, because them tear am rap ponmo." Silence. "You no fit teach people if you no first understand them." Tolu reflected. The next morning, he bought Bashiru a notebook and quietly handed it over. The boy never missed a day again. Weeks turned to months. One student, Amina, built a simple clicker game on Tolu's borrowed laptop. It was crude, but it worked. She called it Farm Rush. The goal? Collect yams and avoid hungry goats. Everyone laughed and played it. Tolu was proud, prouder than he'd ever been. So when the local government organized a mini tech youth fair in Ilesa, he applied. He entered Amina's game on behalf of the class. They rehearsed, cleaned their uniforms, walked into the fair with shoulders high. But they didn't win. Judges liked the idea, but said it was too basic, not flashy, not commercial enough. After the announcement, the kids sat quietly in a corner. Amina bit her lip. "I tried my best, uncle." Tolu placed a hand on her shoulder, and that's all that matters. He walked up to one of the judges and asked respectfully, "Please, what could we have done better?" The judge looked at him and said, "You're solving real-world rural problems. That doesn't always win prizes, but it changes lives." And with those few words, something shifted in Tolu's heart. That night, he couldn't sleep. He sat under the mango tree, watching stars blink in silence. His phone battery was dead. His account balance was 74 nairas. But for the first time in months, he wasn't afraid. He scribbled something in his old journal. "I didn't build the best app, but maybe I built something better. I built people." And that was the beginning of something much greater than he had ever planned. The months that followed weren't perfect, but they were purposeful. Tolu kept teaching, under the mango tree, in broken classrooms, sometimes even in church basements. When the rains came, Ifeoluwa stayed too. Together, they created a weekend program they called Grassroots Code. The idea was simple: teach basic tech and storytelling skills to kids in rural areas, using whatever resources they had. Chalkboards, charcoal, hand-drawn keyboards, and, when possible, donated laptops. It started with 10 students, then 30, then 50. By the end of that year, Grassroots Code had 4 volunteer teachers and had reached 3 nearby villages. Word started to spread. One day, a local radio station came to interview them. Tolu didn't want to speak at first. "What am I even going to say?" Mama Ronki nudged him. "Say the truth. Say the journey. Say the stones." A few weeks after the interview aired, his old friend Tunji, from his Lagos pitch team, called him. "Guy, are you the Tolu teaching JavaScript with charcoal?" "Yes, nah. Who else?" Tolu chuckled. "You dey mad. Listen, there's a social tech conference next month in Lagos. I think you should speak." "Me? Speak?" "Yes. No audition. Just your story." Tolu hesitated. "Lagos again?" Ifeoluwa said, "Maybe it's time you go back. But not to prove anything, just to testify." He returned to Lagos, not with pitch decks, not to beg investors, but as a speaker. He wore a simple native outfit. No suit, no slides. He stepped up to the podium, looked at the audience, developers, founders, tech media, angel investors. He took a breath and said, "My name is Toluwa Ayinde. I failed in Lagos, but I found purpose in the dust of Ilesa. I teach coding with charcoal because talent is everywhere. Only opportunity is missing. I learned more from my failures than any success ever taught me." He paused. Let the silence speak. The crowd stood, applauded, but the biggest applause came from his own heart. After that speech, things began to change. A tech nonprofit reached out, donated 15 laptops. A startup sponsored a rural boot camp. One newspaper called him the Mango Tree Mentor. But not all attention was smooth. Some called him lucky. Others questioned his qualifications. Some criticized his use of charity methods instead of building scalable models. Tolu smiled through it. He told Ifelua, "Let them talk. I'm not building a company. I'm building people." She kissed his forehead. "And you're doing it well." One day, Bashiru, the same barefoot boy from months ago, came running. "Uncle, see what I built." He had used a free online tool and made a simple website, linked to myvillagestories.com. A blog that told folktales from his grandmother's memory. No ads, no subscriptions, just stories. Tolu sat down in silence, tears in his eyes. "You built this?" "Yes, uncle, from what you taught us." And in that moment, he knew. He had succeeded, not with money, not with followers, but with impact. It was on a Friday evening, sun soft, breeze calm, children gone home. Tolu called Ifelua to the mango tree. She arrived, holding 2 zobo drinks. "What's the occasion?" "You'll see." He pointed to the tree trunk. There, carved lightly into the bark. "Failure is not final. Love is not late." Then, he knelt. No ring. Just his hands. And his heart. "I don't have a fortune, but I have a future, and I want to share it with you." She blinked, smiled. "Stand up, you this bushman." He grinned. "Is that a yes?" "It's a forever." They hugged. The mango tree stood still, like it had seen it all coming. 1 year later, they held the first grassroots code summit in Ilasa, 200 students, 10 rural schools, support from 3 states. Tolu gave a closing speech, but this time, he didn't speak alone. He brought Bashiru and Amina on stage. They spoke of discovery, courage, and community. At the end, Tolu turned to the crowd. "I once thought failure buried me, but it planted me. Each mistake was a stone. Heavy, yes, but also a stepping stone. I used to look at the ground in shame. Now I walk it in strength." Later that day, Tolu sits in his room, writing a letter. His voice narrates, "To anyone who feels lost, to the ones who tried and fell, to the dreamers sleeping on mattresses on the floor. I see you. Failure does not mean it's over. It only means you're learning. Stand. Walk. One stone at a time." He closes the notebook. We see the cover. It reads, "The stones beneath my feet. Morals. Failure doesn't end us. It educates us. And every stone we stumble on can become the path beneath our feet." That brings us to the end of the story. What lesson did you take from it? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you'll know whenever we release a new video. Also, feel free to share this with someone who might enjoy it. Thank you so much.